What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got another LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga video, and today we're going to be going over 10 things that you didn't know about the game. Obviously, by everything that we've seen, this game is absolutely enormous, and there's been a lot of information over the last few months sort of going over a lot of the stuff that we can expect to see in the game. And for the more like casual viewer, for those of you who aren't following along to every single piece of information about the game, there's a lot of stuff that has probably slipped through the cracks because, like I said, there's so much information to take in. So keep in mind that this video is pretty much more for those like more casual viewers who have known the game's coming out and they've known a little bit of information here and there, but they're not paying attention to every single piece of information. So if you guys are watching this and you've seen a bunch of other LEGO Star Wars videos from other creators and you've been paying really close attention to the game, then just keep in mind a lot of this stuff you guys might know already. This is more just for those guys who are a bit more casual towards the game. Before we get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, then definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. LEGO Star Wars is not far away now and there's going to be plenty more content on the channel, so make sure you don't miss out. But with that being said, let's get stuck right into it. So the first thing that I've got on my list here that you guys might not have known, and just keep in mind these aren't in any particular order, is that you can actually start at the beginning of any trilogy but not in the middle or the end of a trilogy. So this seems to be something that they've actually changed over the course of time. I think initially they said you could start anywhere, however now you can only start, at least on your first playthrough anyway, you can only start at The Phantom Menace, A New Hope or The Force Awakens. For me personally, I'm a little bit indifferent on this one. I do like the freedom to do whatever you want, so I think the way that it used to be was good, but this way will definitely sort of help the story be a bit more cohesive. So I'm not too fussed with it being this way, and to be honest, I was going to play it in order anyway. But definitely let me know what you guys think, whether you are a fan of this or whether you guys would like the freedom to play in pretty much any order that you want. Now, another thing that you guys might not have known is that you can actually have companions that follow you around the place. Now, we see Salacious Beak from following Jabba the Hutt on Naboo, which is definitely a weird little combination of a sentence there, but we see that in one of the trailers. I think it was the overview trailer. And then we also see Grogu following Din Djarin around in the Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 DLC pack. So I believe as of right now, those are the only two companions that we actually really know about. I could be wrong on that, so do correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. But either way, I think it's going to be awesome to have a little companion following you around. And I'm assuming that in free play, you can have essentially any companion that you want. For example, maybe you can bring Grogu along when you're playing as Darth Vader, which would definitely be a little bit weird. But that is what we love about LEGO Star Wars, is these weird little combinations of characters. So it's going to be interesting to see, and I'm very excited to find out what the companions can actually be used for, whether they help you fight and whether they give you tips or something like that. I'm definitely keen to see how that goes. Now, another thing that you guys might not have known is that you can actually have random encounters with capital ships when you're entering free space. These aren't necessarily to do with the story at all, they can just kind of happen. You can be flying around exploring and out of nowhere comes a Star Destroyer, and then you can choose to actually either fight them or even board them and take them down from inside, and you can even take over control of the capital ships. So the depth of our choices there is absolutely mental. It's going to be so much fun to try and, you know, kind of do each of those different things. It'll be fun to try and take out a Star Destroyer on your own, and then it's also going to be just as fun to actually try and land inside of the Star Destroyer and essentially try and fight your way through and take control of the ship. So I thought that was definitely a pretty cool little element. Moving on, something else that you guys might not have known is that the game is going to take roughly 12 to 16 hours to complete the stories, and that is essentially just, you know, playing the story as is, not doing all the side missions and stuff like that. But then they've confirmed that it is going to take over 50 plus hours to actually obtain 100% on the game. So that is essentially getting every single thing in the game, getting all the achievements, getting true Jedi in every mission and stuff like that. Doing that is going to take over 50 hours, which is actually mental considering this is a LEGO game. That is to the scale of any AAA, like massive single player game out there. And for comparison, I'm pretty sure to get 100% on a game like Fallen Order, which is obviously a massive universally loved AAA game, pretty sure that didn't even take 50 hours. So I thought that was an awesome touch, and it is going to give us a lot of time to be playing LEGO Star Wars, and that is definitely a welcome addition to me personally. Now, something else that you guys might have missed is that each class actually has a skill tree for you guys to upgrade, and this is going to give you different abilities and sort of upgrade those abilities as you go, and it's going to kind of differentiate each class from each other. Now, this isn't going to be each individual character. For example, we see that the Sith characters, they kind of all have the same skill tree, so if you're playing as, say, Darth Maul or Darth Vader, they're going to be somewhat similar in the abilities that you have. But then, for example, Darth Vader compared to Luke Skywalker, he's going to have a very different set of abilities and a completely different skill tree to level up the regular Jedi characters. So once again, that is just adding to the depth of the game, and it's going to give us a lot of freedom in how we play the game and really add to that replay factor, as your playthrough is going to be completely different to mine depending on which stuff we do or don't upgrade. Now, something else that I found interesting, which they actually only just mentioned the other day at the IGN FanFest, is that there are over 100 mechanics in this game. Now, that is absolutely absolutely mental. For those who don't know what I mean by mechanics, those can be essentially anything that you can like do in the game. So for example, there are different melee mechanics. Something like shooting your blaster is a mechanic of its own. For example, there's the whole like distraction mechanic where you can essentially use a mind trick on different characters in the game. Stuff like flying, for example, that is its own mechanic. So I've just listed 4 different examples there. There is over 100 of those different mechanics in the game. So that is absolutely insane. And I'm very keen to try and find out what all 100 of those mechanics are going to be. Now, something else you guys might not have known is that force wielders actually have all new force abilities in the game. So in certain previous games, for example, the Complete Saga or really any of those older games, a lot of the force wielding characters, they were able to sort of pick certain things up, or they were able to use the force to move levers up and down, for example. But in this game, you're going to be able to essentially pick up anything on the map that is, you know, not attached to the walls or the floor or something like that. Anything that can be broken by your lightsaber, for example, you can actually pick those up and throw them around. You can even pick up enemies as well and throw them at other enemies. So they've really gone all in on those new force abilities. And just like I mentioned before with the skill trees, it's going to be interesting to see whether the Jedi have different force abilities than the Sith. For example, maybe the Sith have like a force choke ability, and I kind of doubt it, but it would be cool to see even if the Jedi actually have like a force healing ability to heal other characters that you are playing as, for example. Now, something else that you guys might not have known is that you can actually fly any ship in the game as any character. Now, that is something I did not know until we got the big gameplay trailer. There are certain times when we can actually see Obi-Wan flying like a Y-Wing, for example, and there is even a moment when we see Obi-Wan flying Anakin's starfighter that we see in episode 3, and he's doing that in the episode 1 final mission. So there's going to be a lot of customization there in free play, and I assume even to some extent you're going to be able to do that in the regular playthrough. Most of the characters, at least the main characters, probably have their own ships, but there is a good chance that even in the regular story you're going to be able to just get Obi-Wan and take him to pick up a Y-Wing or something like that and fly it around. So I thought that was definitely pretty awesome to see. Now, something else that we only just found out just the other day is that there are actually 5 missions per movie, which that we did already know, but there's also anywhere between 15 and 20 sort of smaller missions per movie as well. So each movie is going to have like 5 main missions or main like storyline elements, for example, but then per level there's going to be at least 1 to 2 different like pre-missions, if that makes sense, where it's more of like an open world mission. So, you know, the main missions are going to be a bit more A to B, they're going to be a bit more linear, but then the missions in between each of those, they're going to be able to essentially be done however you want to do, and you can even just go around and fly to a different planet that's nothing to do with the storyline at all. So a lot of people were worried that there was only 5 missions per movie, but in reality there's pretty much going to be anywhere from about 15 to 20 missions per movie, and I think that is definitely very awesome to see. Now, the last thing that you guys might not have known is that everything in game is actually made with the exact same bricks as they are in real life. As I'm sure a lot of you guys know, pretty much every single character in this game is actually sort of based off of their real life Lego counterpart. There are some characters in this game that are essentially made from scratch. For example, they don't have a real life Lego piece, but anyone in this game who has a real life Lego piece, they are built from the exact same bricks as they are in the real life versions. And for an example that they used, all of the Star Destroyers in this game, for example, they're built from every single piece that you guys built your own from if you own the Lego Star Destroyer. I unfortunately don't own one, but I know how many Lego pieces actually go into those Star Destroyers, and so to know that every single one of those bricks is actually in the game as well, and that essentially every item in the game is made from the exact same bricks, that is definitely very crazy to see. And again, it just shows the absolute depth and sort of the quality of life of this game. They've gone to such an extreme to actually do that, when to be honest they really didn't even have to do that. So it shows the love they put into the game, and I'm definitely very keen to see them all in action. So those are 10 things that you guys might not have known about Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. There is definitely a lot of stuff in here that I've missed, so if there are any other big things that you guys think should have been in this video, then definitely leave a comment down below and let us know. As with the size of this game, I'm sure there's even plenty of stuff that I don't even know about the game, and I've been following it pretty damn closely. That is going to do it for this one though, guys. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like down below, and if you are new to the channel, then definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. If you want to support the content that I make here on YouTube, then do consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. The links to that are down in the description. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you always.